I'm gonna clean my pants. Oh.
All right, and welcome back to the Pulse with Willie and Al. How's it going today, bro?
Doing all right. I think for the viewers at home or listening, we hung out this weekend for a long weekend with some of our friends,
Oh yeah, we
some of
did.
our how you would say more degenerate friends, and
Yeah,
it was a good weekend.
yeah,
It's a good weekend.
and even had a
Uh,
better time after some of them left. You know?
You know,
Yeah,
I couldn't have put that better myself. You know,
yeah. It was
so
definitely a great time up in Vermont. So have the
yeah.
boys together. It was definitely a great weekend. We are back today with episode 89, which is going to be for us. It's going to be our NFC South episode that we're going to break down the teams. Not much we're going to talk about in baseball. I think we can skip over that for today. But big news coming in the NFL with training camp and all sorts of things. And we're recording this on Tuesday. You'll see this on Wednesday, but in case stuff comes out today that you're like, yo, they didn't catch this, that's why. But just a little clarification on team previews from last week. I had mentioned we had gone over NFC North and the East the week before that as well. They do not have easy schedules this year, by the way. So go figure. I can't read. But those are the difficult. They have the way the chart was set up is it's the highest percentage of wins for the opponents that they play. Instead of being from lowest to highest, they did from highest to lowest, and that's why the mistake was made. So my fault. In fact, all 8 teams in the NFC East and NFC North have the 8 toughest schedules on the season. If anyone's looking at that and kind of scratching their head and being like, I think he missed that there, you are right. So, but other news we've got, right? Kyron Williams, he gets a 3-year extension. And can we just for a second just admire this and take a look at like the beauty of this contract? Because there's 23 million guaranteed on it, right? Like this is at a big discount for the Rams, considering how many touchdowns this guy's put up over the last couple years. You know, he inks in at a little less than 8 million a year, which is seventh highest among running backs. So you could look at that and be like, all right, that he could be there. Maybe he could be a little bit higher. Maybe some people feel he's a little bit lower, but he's third over the past 2 seasons for rushing yards at almost 2,500. Henry and Barkley, the only guys against them, ahead of him rather. In the past 2 seasons, he's had 15 touchdowns and then 16 touchdowns last year. So his efficiency metrics were way down last year, and he had a little bit of fumbleitis. Didn't lose a lot of them, but the ball was getting put on the ground, even if he wasn't losing it. But this guy's got a nose for the end zone, and I just feel like in a day and an age where we have guys like Saquon making 20 mil a year, and guys like Derrick Henry making their chunk of change and stuff, to get a guy that can get the ball in the end zone like Kyron Williams, and you're getting him at what, a little less than 8 million a year. That's a really good deal.
I
Um,
remember seeing the article and like I thought it was a misprint how little they paid him,
right, right.
and I was like, oh, huh. But like you look at it, and you're like, okay, like that's a steal for the Rams, and like he's a big he's a big reason why they're expected to go so far this year. And we're going to
Yeah,
talk about it in our NFC, in the NFC West breakdown we have. But like, yeah, he's a big reason why everybody thinks the Rams are a sleeper Super Bowl contender. So
yeah,
good for him.
yeah. Really good for him. Happy for him. And be on the lookout for him in fantasy this year, right?
Yeah.
He's still there too. So, Keenan Allen also re-signs with the Chargers, so he joins them again. We may have mentioned that last week, but this news unfortunately was kind of overshadowed by the Rashawn Slater injury, and that season-ending injury is just sad for him because we're talking about a guy like this came out. We recorded last week, and literally the next day, I'm like, "Yo, Slater tore his ACL," and you're like, "No,
Yeah.
no, 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 no." So not good. I don't think it was his ACL. I think it was PCL.
Mm.
Regardless, he's gone for the year, and it's really going to be unfortunate for him. Jordan Addison news came out about his suspension. He's going to get 3 games, which really isn't a big deal. Better that he's missing the games now, gets focused on the field, and then can kind of hone in from there. And I
Yeah.
think he's going to have a great season with the Vikings too. So,
Yeah.
um,
Moral of the story, folks: don't drink and drive.
yeah, I don't think it was
Yeah.
he. I don't think he was drinking, was he?
It was a DWI that he got. He
Was
got
it a
pitched.
DUI? They ruled it
Yeah.
that. There was a lot of issues with him getting pulled over. I remember one time he got pulled over. Was this the situation where he got pulled over and his pet was in the car? Was that what
I
it
think
was?
so. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he actually,
Yeah.
they did find out that he was drinking. Okay, all right. I was a little confused by that story. I'm like, that's a very unique story.
Yeah.
And don't forget, this happened in his rookie season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a long time that this is suspension's been pending, but 3 games. Jamal Adams, he also reunites with Pete Carroll in Las Vegas. Pete Carroll is bringing him in there. I mean, he's had some injury concerns in the last couple of years, floated around the league a little bit, but definitely a very good player and a good veteran to have in the locker room as well. Alexander Madison, I don't know if you saw this news yesterday, but it just came out that he's going to be out for the season for Miami. He had season-ending neck surgery. Just an awkward hit, kind of in the preseason game that they had, and just really really sad to see that because Madison's a good player. Landon Dickerson, he has a meniscus injury right now. They're trying to figure out, they're trying to get second opinions on that. But this could have uh, lasting implications for guys like Barkley and Jalen Hurts and the Eagles in general. So I wanted to ask you, is it just going to be, is it as easy as like next man up when you've got a guy like Landon Dickerson? Because it feels like it's very tough to replace that kind of production.
I think with the Eagles, they have so much depth usually, and they draft really well that I think you're going to see. I think it's going to be some effect. I think they're going to be okay though.
Yeah.
I really do. Like they're so well coached. I think that I think they're going to be okay. I think you're going to see a dip in numbers, and I think especially with Barkley, like if you if you think that Barkley can recreate those numbers from last year, like respectfully, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's just not going to happen.
Yeah. It's nuts.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But he's going to put up, I think, big numbers again, and like I think
It's
they're
not.
going to be okay.
It's not like, and this is the thing, guys. We're not saying that like he's not going to try and the Eagles aren't going to
Yeah,
try. It's not from
yeah,
a lack of trying or a lack of effort. This is just, it's very difficult to reproduce rushing numbers like that. And honestly, I think the where you're going to see that type of rushing production this year is going to be with Baltimore. I think that's where you're going to see those like season crazy numbers for rushing. Tyree
yeah.
Spears got a little banged up. He's going to miss the rest of the preseason with a high ankle sprain. And you'll notice I skipped over one because I feel like this guy is always the subject of like beginning of season stuff, and I wanted to bring this around to you again. So Jordan Love is going to have a thumb procedure. They say he should be ready for week 1. How are you feeling about that?
I'm not a big Jordan Love fan. I think I've made that. I've That's the hill that I'm going to die on, and I'm going to say a thing. I'm going to be on the right side of history on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I just, dude can't stay healthy, man. Like this is quickly kind of becoming a thing where he's always kind of like nicked up and like and missing those reps in training camp. That's pretty. He's gonna miss all of training camp, but that's pretty big.
We've talked about that, right? Like how necessary those reps were. Like, how good did you feel after that Bengals game, seeing the way Burrow and Chase played? Like,
Yeah.
that's like, all right. Now, maybe they're playing against second string guys on defense and stuff like that, but at least they're going through the reps, you
Well,
know?
that's like you and I watching the Patriots game at your house
Hmm.
this past weekend. I went to bed talking myself into the Patriots could go 13-4 this year for a minute. And then I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And
Yeah,
for a minute, I let myself
it
believe
must
it.
have
I
been
was
the
like,
edibles.
okay,
It must have been the edibles, right?
it
Like,
really was. I'm going
oh
to be
man.
honest with you.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we are gonna jump into our NFC South previews and stuff. Listen, this isn't a fun division to do, but legally we have to do it. So, uh, last year the Saints. We'll start with the New Orleans Saints, right? Last year the Saints ended up finishing fourth in the NFC South. They finished with a record of 5-12. Do you remember how last year started for them, by the way? Because
Yeah, they won their first two games by like they scored like 90 points in it,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
everybody was like, "Oh, maybe the Saints are going to be good this year," and then it was like, "Nah."
Nope. Yeah,
Nah,
they started
just
out.
kidding. They're the same old
Yeah,
Saints.
you're right, man. They started out with a 47-10 win over Carolina, and then 44-19 win over Dallas. And that's when people started talking and were like, we expected Carolina. We didn't expect this. So, but then they followed that up with true New Orleans Saints fashion. They lost seven straight. Carr got hurt in the middle of that. He came back later for a month and then was out the rest of the year. So it was just really, really kind of up and down season for them. They got a new coach this year in Kellen Moore, which I feel like that was one of the most quiet hirings out there. I kind of forgot that he was there. It was,
Yeah, I think because I mean the Eagles won the Super Bowl last year, and he was the offensive coordinator for them. So like he didn't really get his pick of job. Like he was kind of like the last one to get hired because
mm,
his team went to the Super Bowl, and I just kind of like I'm sure he's probably a perfectly fine coach. I just like this is kind of a bad situation to be in.
hmm
Like I before we recorded today, I was like thinking about the Saints quarterback room, and I was like, I had to like look it up because I wasn't sure who was legally allowed to play quarterback for the Saints.
yeah,
And I'm just gonna read this quarterback room to you.
yeah,
Right now on the depth chart, number one is one Spencer Rattler.
yeah.
That's not inspiring anything.
Oh, that gets you in your plums, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tyler Show,
yeah.
the guy they drafted,
Drafted this
who's like,
year.
yeah, he's already like 38 years old because he
Was it?
spent like 18 years in college.
Yeah,
Um, and then this gets like this is for like the real degenerates out there.
yeah.
Have you ever heard of Jake Hanier?
Nope, but
Nope, I didn't think so because I
yeah.
hadn't. And then Hunter Deckers is your fourth string quarterback.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
the reason for this thought exercise is just to say there is nobody playing quarterback for the New Orleans Saints this year,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a long year for them.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough. They're going to be tried very hard. I mean, think about it. Moving on from any quarterback that you've had there for a little while, right? And Derek Carr like is a very difficult thing. He obviously makes the kind of unselfish move in terms of the organization to retire, right? Like he could have taken the money, but he didn't.
Yeah,
And Tyron Matthew, he ends up retiring as well. So you kind of lose captain on offense, captain on defense. Free agency, they did some interesting things. They're bringing back Brandon Cooks. I swear this guy's trying to get a punch ticket for every team in the league, right? Like he's played for so many different teams. I remember when he got traded to New England, and I was like,
went
oh
to the
no,
Super Bowl that year with
yeah,
him. Yeah,
yeah, crazy. Which I think bringing back Brandon Cooks, I see that as a win for Raheed Shaheed. Like I just think him, Olave, Kamara, like I mean, Cooks is older. Don't get me wrong; he can still stretch the field. He still can play, right? So I think it benefits the other playmakers that are there by drawing some attention away from them. Uh, they bring in Edom from San Francisco on a one-year deal. I'm sorry, he went to San Francisco on a one-year
yeah,
deal, and then he came back to New Orleans on a three-year deal. So they're excited to welcome him back, and you will see that with organizations sometimes where they're not able to re-sign a free agent. They go somewhere else for on a one-year loan, and then they bring them back into the building because they're familiar with that player. They know how they are, all of those things. They had another big signing in Justin Reed, which was really nice for their secondary, and he just brings a ton of top-level playoff experience with him to New Orleans. And I feel compelled to mention that like him and Matthew would have made an awesome tandem in the defensive backfield. I know Matthew went and retired and stuff, but
yeah.
like they would have been awesome together back there. And I think really this team would have needed something like that. Because you said like top to bottom, like we're besides, I would say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and maybe some players on the Falcons. This division is probably the most inept when it comes to talent in the league. And
That is
I don't think that's a
un.
hot
Yeah,
take. I really don't. Um,
no, it's not.
it just I don't know. The Bucks have quite a bit of talent, and like there's good playmakers on each of these teams, but when you compare them to some of the other divisions in football, it seems like they're lacking a lot. Uh, But Kellen Moore there, like they go into the draft this year, Kelvin Banks Jr., he understands like Kellen Moore's an offensive minded guy. He was in Dallas before he was in Philly. Like he understands the way, even being a quarterback in the league, he understands the way offense is supposed to flow, and he knows that that can't work properly without having a good offensive tackle. And I know you were a little uh, skeptical on Tyler Show, right? Like, but this is the thing. I feel like in order for a quarterback to have success, you need to have good protection. We've seen quarterbacks come into the league that we didn't think were good. Sam Darnold, guys like that, Geno Smith. And then all of a sudden they get a line and playmakers and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden they're making plays out there. It's not a secret sauce, right? You need to be able to protect your quarterback and you need to give them playmakers to be able to move the ball down the field. If you have those and the quarterback can make the right decisions, they'll be better off. But I think I like this with Tyler Show and that like him and Kelvin Banks learning together as they grow, right? Um,
Yeah.
Another big win for New Orleans and them drafting Kelvin Banks is they moved Fuaga to the other side, right? Where he played in college. And like that's an important thing for them. He's got a comfort there, but this is going to allow them to be able to kind of have the bookends. It reminds me a little bit of what Seattle did a few years back when they drafted those two young tackles. Cross has been really good for them. The other one hasn't been great, but maybe he could stay healthy and stuff and they'll be all right. But I like the way that they're going about building this team. But I just think, like you said before, there's a lot of players in this locker room that I don't think are very good.
Well, like, here's the thing with the Saints. Like, their one really good receiver they have, Chris Olave.
Yeah,
I don't think like what's getting mentioned with him is like all the concussions this guy's already racked up.
yeah,
And that like that actually really concerns me that like he's like one bad hit away and like then he's kind of like done.
he's been
Like,
nicked
and
up a
then you're
lot.
like, cool, who are you throwing to then? Like, you kind of gave him a little more credit than I think than I would have when picking records. Like you have them winning 4 games.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. They're going to be in contention for the number one pick this year.
Oh, they
Like,
will. They will definitely.
I think they're going to go like 2-15.
Really? Okay.
I
Yeah.
just, I don't see how they're getting 2 wins. I know they have
Hmm.
an easy schedule, but like New Orleans is the kind of bad this year where the bad teams that are playing New Orleans are going to beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
It's like them and Cleveland are like the two teams that like when the dust settles and the draft order is settled, they're going to be 1-2 in some variation.
Yeah. Speaking of Cleveland, I don't know why this just flashed into my mind, but I saw it on Sports Center this morning. Did you see Miles Garrett at the press conference that he had?
Yeah, sure
Oh,
did.
oh my goodness.
Yeah,
It got a
I
prompt
am
from my mom
concerned.
where she was like, "Who is that guy?" I was like, "Yeah, he's that."
I'm concerned. I saw that and I just felt bad for anybody that is trying to block him. Good luck.
I don't have any muscle in my body.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. I'm
good
just
luck.
fat and water. So
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
a
No,
big
they're gonna try blocking him with like two. I don't
yeah.
think that's really gonna matter.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna matter.
No.
With this Saints team, and like this is the thing that's going to be really challenging for Kellen Moore this year, is when you're getting your teeth kicked in every single week, it's very difficult to keep momentum and positivity moving in the right direction in the locker room. And that's going to be the challenge for him is being able to figure out how can they do that? How are they able to do that?
Yeah.
Um, I I don't know, but I feel like it's going to be a really rough season for them this year. And even at 4-13, I have them finishing last in the division.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
um,
they're a team that like you're gonna like pass in red zone, and you're like, cool. This is a time for me to get up and go get something to drink.
yep, yeah. If they
Yeah.
don't, if
So
ESPN doesn't butcher red zone, we'll see. So,
I know it
yep.
makes me so sad.
Well, yeah. All right, moving on to the Carolina Panthers. Last year they finished third in the division at 5-12. Second year coach Dave Canales is there, and Bryce Young, his third year, right? I feel like we didn't get much out of him the first year. This last year we got to see him start to make plays down the stretch, and I'm not really a Bryce Young believer. I know you, I think were coming out of college, right?
Yeah, man. Like I drank the Kool Aid with him because like I watched him in college, and I watched him a lot of times, like if Bama was down,
Yeah.
like led some like big boy drives against SEC defenses
Yeah.
on the road. Like I watched him do that routinely, and I was like, that's not like something you can kind of like measure. And my brain's like, okay, cool, he's poised. Like I think that's gonna go a long way, but like then I forgot that he plays for Carolina, and you're like, well,
Can I ask you something about him? Because
sure,
I feel like him, and I don't know, I don't think maybe we didn't talk much about it when he was getting drafted and coming into the league, but my biggest knock on him isn't that I think he's like a bad quarterback and stuff. I just think he's too small. Like I think he is, and I wondered why you. I don't think I heard you say that about him, but did you feel that way when you look at him, or like comparing him to Jaden Daniels? I guess that's what I'm trying to do in my head, is trying to understand like how you felt differently about them. Was it just based on what you saw in college on the tape, or
yeah, I have a couple things. I don't really use the height against people just because I think about Drew Brees.
yeah,
Because I
yeah,
think about Drew, like think about him for a
hmm
minute. Like that dude was like, I'm sure they said he was like 6 foot. That's being
but
generous.
he was
That
five
is
eight.
being real
Yeah,
goddamn generous. I
yeah,
think I was taller than he was.
yeah.
And like dude's like dude passed for over 60,000 yards. So like the model is there. So I
Mhm.
don't where I with Bryce Young and Jaden Daniels, where I got concerned with them was lack of like lack of weight for back lack of a better term. Like,
Okay, all right.
yeah, like for them, like and I when we went over the NFC East, it was the thing I talked about again with Jaden Daniels. Is
Yeah.
like
Yep.
cool, but like you're like one good hit away from like really getting like your stuff knocked in because like you don't really have like the muscle and padding to like absorb many of those hits.
N-
And Bryce Young's the same way.
Yeah, not
Like,
when you compare them to guys like Jalen Hurts or I mean, I know Lamar's he isn't frail, right? Like I think Lamar's bigger than those guys like Jaden and Bryce, but like you look at a guy like Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen, they can take a hit, right? Like
yeah, and like Lamar can take a hit and he's skinny, but you know why? Because nobody ever catches them.
yeah, yeah,
Like you gotta catch him first.
yeah. But yeah,
But
thanks for explaining that because I was just curious about Bryce Young and stuff. I mean, it's like I mentioned last year, man. This team really did catch some wind down the stretch. They were playing some tough teams. They had two overtime wins, and maybe that's kind of what you were talking about with what you were seeing him do in college, like leading these drives at the end of games in enemy territory. You know, really difficult to be able to do, but they were able to secure two wins over Arizona and Atlanta in overtime. And I just feel like the biggest issue they had wasn't the offense necessarily, because Chuba Hubbard was playing well, right? Like they had guys that
yeah,
were actually playing well on offense, but the defense just got shredded like last
they
year.
sure did.
Dude, giving up
They sure did.
534 points, I had to double check that on multiple sites, like just to give perspective. The next closest in the league in terms of giving up points was Dallas, and they gave up 468 points.
Yeah.
Ridiculous amount of points they gave up last year.
When I was looking at Chuba Hubbard, like his stats,
Hmm
I think the thing that I forgot about is that he almost ran for 5 yards a carry,
Yeah.
4.8 yards a
Oh
carry.
yeah.
And like you have to have an okay offensive line to rush for 1,200 yards as a running
hmm
back.
Yeah.
Like if your offensive line is bad, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
There's
It's
no
difficult.
way.
Yeah.
Like unless you're Barry Sanders, that's the only way you could do it. But like their offensive line got better last year.
hmm
Their just defense is such ass, and
Yeah.
I know they made some moves, and I know they brought in a receiver, but like I don't really see how they got much better defensively. I think they got slightly better, but I think that's going to be the Achilles heel of this team again this year. Is like, sure, I think Bryce Young, I think is going to get a little bit better this year, but like, I think you're going to see Carolina playing from behind so much still because like their defense can't stop anything.
Well, so last year it definitely could, but I really like Dan. First of all, I love that Dan Morgan's in the front office because he's awesome. He was such an intense player, and like to see him now, like in the front office making decisions about the team, it feels really good. That it's an awesome room to watch. I don't know if you've seen some of the clips of inside the room, but they are
Yeah,
his phone conversations are awesome. his energy, all of that stuff is really cool. And what they did was they locked up Horn, and they locked up Michael Jackson at corner, which was priority for them, right? You need to have good defensive
That too.
backs in the league. They brought in Morig at safety, which is a really big deal. They needed to have the secondary not giving up 80-yard plays every week. This allows them to kind of do that, but not the only piece, right? They also needed to address the defensive line. So they bring in Bobby Brown. He's going to be the nose tackle for them. They also bring in a former Chief Warden. I feel like he's going to be good for them as well. On offense, they didn't do anything, but like they really needed to address that stuff in on defense, because if you can't stop teams, doesn't matter how good you are. Like
Yeah.
even and I hate comparing them to them, but like you were able to see with the Bengals last year what happened when a defense couldn't stop a team. Didn't matter how good the offense was. Didn't matter if it was record breaking on the season, right? Like I don't think it's
No.
ever there was ever a team to not make the playoffs where you had the quarterback and the wide receiver win the triple crown, right? Like it just doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but in the draft they go after Tet McMillan, which I'm not a huge fan of, but like they give Bryce Young a bona fide number one, right? Like they're giving him this guy. I just
I, yeah. I guess.
yeah, like there were other guys. Put it this way: when I'm watching the draft, I did not anticipate they were going to take him, but they were so excited when they took him. It made me feel like they knew something that we didn't. Um,
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he really is that good, but I didn't feel like I saw enough of him in college to feel like this dude's going to dominate. He's a big bodied guy. He's very talented, but I wasn't sure that. I just I don't know that he's going to be that demanding number one receiver there. I don't know.
It- you know what I think is not getting talked about in so right before camp this year, they brought in Hunter Renfro.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been the story of camp, is that like he looks really good
Hmm.
after a year off from the league.
That should not happen, by the way. Not for
No,
him. Awesome for him, but if he's the one that stands out after a year off from football and camp, your receiver
yeah,
room's bad.
yeah, and like he had ulcerative colitis, which is like no joke. Like
Yeah.
that disease, like that's an autoimmune disease that like knocks you out. And the
Hmm.
fact that like I was like reading that he had a regular 9 to 5 job last NFL season,
Yeah.
and like for him to like work so hard to like come back, man, I'm fucking. If he can just be 2/3 of what he was when he was playing with Vegas, like
He'll
that
help this
actually
team.
might be something.
Yeah.
There might be something there with that receiver room, especially with Tet. Like if he can like figure it out, like because the dude in college, he was insane.
Yeah.
He's 6'5", 215, like dude, dude can run a 40 like it's nobody's business,
Yeah.
and he's fast, but like
Is
like
he going to be dominant? Like I look at number ones in the league, and I look at like JJ and Chase and CD and Devonta. Like I'm looking at these dudes, right? I just
yeah,
don't feel like he's one of them yet. But I
yeah,
could be super wrong about it, right? Like we don't
like
know
if you're
how
gonna
he's going to blossom in the NFL.
yeah, if you're gonna spend a top 10 pick on a receiver, like remember when the Bengals did it with Jamar Chase? I remember you and I talking about that and be like, oh, that makes sense.
Hmm.
That dude was a stud in college. That dude's gonna be a stud in the NFL.
Yeah, you knew he was going to dominate coming in, but I don't.
Whereas
Yeah.
whereas with Tet, like you're just kind of like you were pretty good in college, but like I don't know, man. Like yeah, I guess. So we're gonna have to see.
I mean, they got a fairly
I
easy schedule this year, right? Like there's some tough stretches, but it's mostly a cake schedule for them. It mostly is a cake schedule. And I actually have them doing better this year than they've done in years past. But how do you have them finishing out this year?
Same way they finished last year. I think they're gonna be 5-12.
5-12. Okay.
I just don't think they're gonna like defensively. They're not good enough to like be in a lot of games.
Yeah. I have them winning 7 games, but I think that's partially because they're playing in this division. And I see two freebies right out of the get go with the Saints. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I feel like they could probably snag a game off Atlanta or Tampa Bay this year, even if they split with both of them. Like then they're
right.
more than halfway to their season total right there, right? Like They'll surprise some people, and there's going to be some games at the end of the season that are throwaway games that they'll end up winning. But
I will tell you, pick their second round pick. He was a linebacker, and I think his name's like Nick Scorton.
yeah,
Dude was really good in college. I'm curious to see how he translates to the pros. Dude
yeah.
was a monster in
Where
college.
did he
Like
where did he play in college?
I think he played at A&M, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Although I think I might be confusing that with Tet, because I think Tet for sure played at A&M.
No, no, no,
I
no.
think.
Was he A&M or was he Arizona? Tet was
Oh
Arizona.
no, sorry. Scorton was A&M. Tet was Arizona State.
Arizona State. Okay.
Yeah,
ASU. He was ASU?
yeah, because he
Ah,
was on that team with Cam Scadaboo.
that's right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
and they went on that run last year in the playoff and almost beat
Yeah.
Texas. Like, so yeah.
Wild. All right. So moving on, we've got the Atlanta Falcons. Last year they finished second at 8-9 in the division. The arrival of Cousins, the benching of Cousins, the rise of Penix. Right.
Boy, watching that on quarterback was everything I wanted that to be and then some.
Yeah, it's wasn't comfortable the way that kind of went,
No,
and it wasn't the way they filmed it. Like I know Manning's got something to do with that, the way it's filmed and with
sure.
the selection process. Like I like the way they did that because it shows the harsh reality of what that is, and it kind of did that with Mariota the year before, right? Like shows you what it's like to be a backup quarterback. It's not fun.
Ironically, also for Atlanta as well. This is 2 years in a row that Atlanta has done this.
Yeah, and listen, I don't like the football situation right now for in Atlanta. Like team wise,
You both.
move on from Kirk if needed, but to just let him sit there just really sucks, right? Like, and I understand the argument of like if something happens to Penix, you want to have a good quality backup quarterback. I totally get that, but like, come on, it's Peacock. You
Well,
got to let him fly.
I think the reason they're holding on to him is like they sunk 100 million guaranteed into him.
Like, and this is the other thing. If anything happens to Drake May this year, like New England could use him. So like
Don't do that to me.
there'd be
Don't do that to
nothing
me.
better than Kirk showing up with his
Don't
bags in
do
New
that to
England,
me.
knocking on your door saying, "Hey, listen, I need to stay
God
here this
damn it.
weekend.
Why do you do these
I
things
got
to
to
me?
start the game on
Why?
Sunday."
I swear to God, if that happens, I am flying to Turkey and I'm just gonna shake you and just be like,
Yeah,
why do you do this? Why do you do these things to me?
it's gonna be beautiful. Listen, and you can thank
God
me.
damn it.
So, the Falcons, listen, they made some moves, and I feel like it's the same story this year. If we're not talking about quarterbacks, the other thing that was like storyline that was running was like, who's going to rush the passer this year? Which they were talking about last year too, right? Then they brought in your guy from New England, but it just I don't know, like it just I don't know. They get Leonard Floyd from San Francisco. He's definitely going to be good for them. It's a huge signing. They needed to get a pass rusher and stuff. But then I really like Diablo from Vegas. First of all, he's got an incredible name, Divine Diablo,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
but not only that, he's got a nose for the football. He really knows how to be able to track it. Makes a ton of tackles. I think he's going to be awesome for them. But then they really got after it in the draft this year. And I
Which
don't
is bizarre.
listen, I don't think, and my first reaction was, this is really dumb. They did a bad job. They made mistakes, this and that. I'm not sure that's really what happened. I'm not. I feel like we may have been, they may have been playing 4D chess because what they did, they took Jalen Walker out of Georgia, right? He's going to be awesome. But
Jalen Walker, he was a monster at
yeah,
Georgia.
yeah, he's going to be a
Like,
monster for them too in the NFL.
yeah.
Like they're going to have a great guy to be able to pair opposite Leonard Floyd. Uh, but then they traded back into the first round and took James Pierce Jr.
For a
Huge.
guy they could have gotten in the second round, for the record.
I don't know, but maybe they could have, but they secured their second pass rusher, right? And for them to have two young guys that are very high motor pass rushers on this team now, this gives them a ton of upside, right?
I'll tell you what, though, they better be good because, the Rams control their first round pick next year. And that's the thing is if things get hairy quickly,
Mm-hmm.
there's a world where like the Rams and this draft coming up is supposed to be a really, really good one. So like you better be right.
Could
Like
you
they
imagine
better
Archie
be
Manning
right.
ends up out in LA? Oh boy.
Kill everyone.
Yeah.
Um, I wanna like before we talk about like schedule and
Hmm.
like Michael Penix, I need this to be like recorded and for the record. When it's draft time and I message you and I'm like, I think Kyle Pitts is gonna have a year this year. I just need you to be my friend and tell me don't do it.
I will. I
I
will. I'm in on Pitts this year. He's gonna have a monster year, dude.
I don't believe
No,
you.
he
I don't
really
believe
is.
you.
He is. He's gonna have a monster year.
Okay.
Just wait. This is gonna be the year. This is gonna
Have
be
you
the
ever
year.
had Kyle Pitts on a fantasy
Yeah,
team?
yeah.
Oh,
A
you
couple
have.
times,
Okay,
three
so you're
three
just
times in the past. Yeah. Yeah, out of
wow.
4 years,
Okay,
I've had him three. I didn't have him
great.
last year, but yeah,
Good for you. No,
yeah,
I had him last year. It was awful.
yeah. Listen, it's
Awful.
not always fun, but the weeks that he is good, you're like, all right, little guy, way to do it. Like feels good.
What weeks was he good last
Oh,
year?
not last year. That was when you had him, but before he did his rookie season, he had some good games. I don't think I had him 3 years. I must have only had him two. The second year there was
See,
quite a
towards
bit of
the end of
drop
the
off.
season, I stopped starting him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you had Kittle, so it's
Yeah,
much better. But yeah. Listen, I'm in on him this year. I think this offense is going to hum this year. Bijan's going to be awesome. Drake London's going to be awesome. Penix has like all the tools there, and if he can't get it done, guess what? They're gonna bring Cousins in to do it. So like I don't know the way I see it. Like London stats went up, Pitt stats went up when Penix came in. I don't know. London's been one of the most targeted. I think he is the most targeted receiver in the end zone in the NFL last year. So I don't know. Like I feel like this team is moving in the right direction. They just need a little bit of help. They got a lot of help on defense for them being able to rush the passer. Hopefully, get them the ball back. Surprised they didn't bring back Justin Simmons at safety, but I don't know.
yeah, me too.
There's still a
Yep.
lot of talented free agents left. So uh, there's guys that those veterans are going to get a chance once these injuries start to happen. It's going to go. But
Yeah.
how do you have them finishing this year?
I think they're gonna finish 8-9.
Oh,
I think they're gonna finish second in this division. I
okay.
just think they're gonna be better than Carolina. I
Hmm.
think they're gonna be obviously be better than New Orleans. I know what I'm getting on offense from these guys, but like Carolina, I'm not quite sure I know what I'm getting from them defensively.
Hmm.
And sure, they have two rookies that they drafted in the first round on defense. And I think Jalen Walker is going to be really good. I'm just not sure, man. I think 8-9 is going to do it for him.
I just have the reverse of that. I got 9 and 8, and the main reason is I feel like in years past this team's really struggled with game flow, like being able to adjust to certain teams, right? And like playing up or playing down to certain opponents. For instance, I feel like they can play very well against a team like Philly, right? And
Yeah,
play up to their status, right? And you get that overtime win like you had last year with Kirk Cousins. But I also remember 2 years ago with Bijan, late in the season playing against Carolina, who had a terrible run defense at the time, and he gets 13 yards on the day, right? So like I think this is the year that they start to figure out that young group together, London, Bijan, maybe Pitts is included in that, but Penix as well. They figure out how to be able to get this thing moving in the right direction and make offense more consistent. Bijan's
can
the
I ask you a
problem.
Michael Penix? Can I ask
Mhm.
you a Penix question?
Sure.
Did you like what you saw from him last year, or did you not see enough to make a decision one way or another?
I don't think I saw enough. Like the games that I saw, and this is the thing. Like we can all say like, oh, I saw enough. I know what I saw, right? But my issue with it is I feel like even the games that he was playing, he was making the mistakes I anticipated he would make.
Yeah, that's
He made some good throws, but nothing that I was like, wow, this is what we have to look forward to next year. That's not the way I felt.
that's how I felt too. Like I was like, he didn't play a full rookie season, so I kind of really have no basis to like figure out what that like looks like.
Hmm.
Like he looked all right, I guess, but like, yeah, I'm really curious to see what he looks like this year with a full, hopefully a full year.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
once teams get tape on you and stuff, and once these defensive coordinators know how to throw stuff at you, right, and make your life miserable, how's he going to do against those teams, right? Like
yeah,
when you're up against the Chiefs or the Eagles and stuff, how are you playing in those games? That's what I'm curious about. Are we going to see like a new leader emerge in the NFC, or are we going to see someone that really is taking a backseat to these real good quarterbacks that exist in the league, right? Um, I don't know. I think the Falcons are on the rise, but we will see what happens.
Yeah.
Um, Next up, we got Tampa Bay, right? The Bucks, right? They won the NFC South last year, lost in the wild card round to Washington, 23-20. Their offense was electric last year, right? Like they had one of the best offenses in the league. They put up 502 points on the season. Like if you can't put over, if you put up 500 points on the season, you got a very good offense, right? Um,
Yeah. A lot of credit to that goes to Liam Cohen, the
yeah.
offensive coordinator at the time. Like they really designed this offense to highlight all of Baker Mayfield's strengths.
hmm I don't think they're going to change that, to be honest. Will they make some changes? Absolutely. But Baker's finding out what works for him, and he's gelled with these guys. This locker room loves him too, which is
Yeah.
crazy. Like, I don't know. I think they're going to be rolling this year. It's going to be a. I know Godwin got injured last year. He was on historic pace at the beginning of the year to really crush it,
Yeah.
and then had a pretty gruesome injury. But it could have derailed their season last year, but it didn't. You had guys like Mike Evans step up, who this guy just doesn't seem, even collecting AARP requirements, he's still not, he's still putting up stats, right? Like this guy's insane. I've been a doubter of him every single year, and like this last year was the first
Yeah.
year I was like, yo, I'm in on him, and he's still doing it, right? So good for him. Surefire Hall of Famer at this point, right? Like he's done
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
that
Has to
long.
be.
The stats
Like,
put him there. But he steps up. Bucky Irving steps up, which is just a fun name to say, right? Bucky Irving, like it's
yeah.
awesome. But they just kept rolling and they kept playing well, kept winning games and stuff. I think they're going to be a tough out this year for teams, and I don't see any team in this division coming close to beating them. I just don't. I mean, not with the stuff that they did, right? Like this team as a core has more talent than I think you could argue the other three teams combined. Like,
Yeah. I do things that I really liked that Tampa did in the draft.
mhm.
When you have as many good receivers as Tampa has, like you can kind of afford to draft one and just kind of hope for the best. But the kid that got out of Ohio State, whose last name I'm going to butcher, but it's like I think it's Emeka Egbuka, I think.
Egbuka, yeah. There you go.
Dude was a stud at Ohio State
Yep,
last year,
yep,
and like big reason they won the national title. And the fact that he fell to Tampa, cool.
yeah.
Like,
Cool.
and like that kind of is going to be. I think he's going to get a lot of opportunity early, especially with Godwin starting the year. He's going to start the year on the pup list,
Yep.
so I think he's gonna. There's a world like he's gonna get some like really strong rookie of the year consideration.
Yeah.
Like,
I put him down. I think he could score 10 touchdowns this year. And I know
oh yeah,
that's crazy,
like
but like the amount of teams that as soon as Tampa Bay submitted his name and they saw it roll across the screen for the draft, they were just like, "Oh." Like damn.
like just from a fantasy standpoint, like he's I think gonna be a guy that you take like a late round flyer on.
Yeah. Yep.
And like I think you could like put him in like that weird flex position, and I think he'll do all right for you.
I definitely
Like,
think he will. I definitely think he
yeah,
will.
like
Um,
he's a name on my board right now of like guys that I'm like looking for value in later rounds. Like I think he's gonna be solid for them.
Take him
Like,
off. He's going to be terrible.
yeah,
Um,
how dare you?
make sure you pass him to me.
Yeah,
But
okay.
listen, they did a little bit with that. I mean, it's awesome what they were bringing in with him in the draft. They added another guy, right? Like they gave two more rookie cornerbacks to. It's like the rich getting richer, right? Tampa Bay's already got a pretty good secondary, very good secondary, but they add some depth with two rookie corners in Morrison and Parrish, and I think that's going to be awesome for them. The only move they made in free agency was Hassan Reddick, bringing him in. But I did want to shout out my boy Godwin because he had a chance to really take more money and not just a little bit, but like a lot of bit more, and chose to stay. And I really like you don't see that often in the league where guys take a hometown, like a big hometown discount and leave like a good 15 to 20 mil on the table. And he did that. Like for him to stay in Tampa Bay, like he knows what he's got there. He's got a good thing. I love him as a player. I think he's just awesome to watch. Um, and hopefully he's able to get back healthy soon.
Yeah,
Um, but their schedule, listen, it's middle of the pack in difficulty. Like I think even though Duvall's gone, I still think this team keeps pumping, right? Like Baker's feeling himself. He's got playmakers all over. Like he's got a really good line. I know Wirfs is down and probably gonna miss a little bit of the start of the season. And
He's on the pup list as well.
yeah,
So he
that's
and Godwin both are.
yeah,
Yep.
I know he's in danger of missing the opener. That's not a good thing for this team. But we talked about last week about quarterbacks we didn't trust. And like Baker is a guy I feel like can get it done in the 2 minute drill. I really do, man. I really do.
Yeah. So with Worst being out, like I don't know if you like looked at their depth chart.
Mhm.
The guy they got next guy up, his name's Charlie Heck. I'm just gonna like just read to you like the size of this man.
Okay.
This man is 6'8", 315 pounds.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
That's a big boy.
cool, cool, like cool. You're gonna,
Awesome.
and like Tristan Wirfs isn't a small man.
No, no, no,
Like
no.
he's 6'5", 320.
I don't know if you know this, but he wrestled in high school.
He looks like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
guy
yeah.
that
I
wrestled in
saw
high
I saw
school.
clips of
He's
him.
got that build where you're
Yeah.
like, oh, you wrestled heavyweight in high school and like you dominated people. I bet.
This
Like,
is the crazy thing. So he went to the University of Iowa. I wonder if he was ever like, yo, you think I can hop in the room there, just roll around a
yeah,
bit, like, like he's a monster. I guarantee he's
yeah,
throwing people all over the football field. I can't imagine what he'd do in a wrestling match, but he's a monster. So
yeah.
how do you have them doing this year? Um,
I think the worst injury is. I think that's going to be a little more impactful than I think people think.
mhm.
Like, I mean, I know the guy they got playing behind him like is 6'8". That being said, I think they're going to finish 10-7. I
Okay.
think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to probably host a playoff game in the wild card. And the thing was last year, like the thing with last year's team that like people don't tend to forget, they played Washington really close and down to the wire in that
Yeah,
game.
they did. They did.
Like it took Washington kicking a field goal at the gun to win it.
Yeah. Yep.
Like you know what I mean? Like that's I think they're going to be in the NFC kind of feels a little wide open this year.
Mhm.
I know it's allegedly the Eagles and Lions and Rams, but like I don't know, man. There's enough question marks with each team that you're kind of like, there's a world where if things break just right, like Tampa could be just kind of sniffing around, and
This
I'd
is
be like, okay,
Yeah, this is the thing. So I have them winning 11 games this year, but I think they're going to get off to a slow start in the first month.
oh, I think so too.
But but this is the thing that I will say is like if I want to make a comparison of Tampa Bay to Cincinnati in the AFC, like they're a team in the AFC that teams don't want to see in the playoffs, and I feel like
Yeah,
Tampa Bay is that way in the NFC. Is that this team's loaded with talent, you do not want to face them in a playoff game. Like
yeah.
I don't want to go on one on like best of one playoff game with Baker Mayfield. I just don't want to do it.
I really thought last year in the playoffs Tampa was going to beat Washington.
Yeah,
I really did.
yeah.
I was really convinced of that, and I think if they had a healthy Godwin, I think they actually make a deep run in the playoffs.
Well, and Washington was on this kind of like year of destiny type feel.
They really were.
Um, but
Also, the other thing to watch out for too, I know like they lost Liam Cohen as their coordinator. I
mhm.
just something to look out for.
Yeah, it could have an impact and stuff, but we will see. We will see.
Yeah,
I was. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen with Tampa Bay? I really think they're going to win the division and not have too many issues, but I think
no,
that's mostly because of the other teams in this division, right? Uh,
yeah,
they don't really feel like
yeah.
playoff
Like I
contenders.
think they're going to go 6-0 in this division this year,
Ooh,
and then you're telling me like they have to find 4 or 5 more wins elsewhere. I think
yeah,
they could easily do
yeah,
that.
they could
Like,
do it.
yeah,
All right, man, that wraps up the NFC South going through. We will do the NFC West next week. So, guys, be on the lookout for that. Drop the comments below. Let us know what you think. And, yeah, man, after a great weekend, it's good to see you, you know?
yes, sir.
All right, bud. I will see you
I
next
love you.
week. Love you
Peace.
too. Peace.